Whew, first reboot video, and what topic are we gonna discuss? Skullgirls? A game from a decade ago? The same topic that I discussed on the APB show? Stream channel, link down below, go subscribe? Wow. How meta? Okay then. Let's talk about it. Last week, there was a huge controversy involving the video game Skullgirls. I haven't played the game in a while. I played the game like literally decades ago. It was fine, not my cup of tea. It's a fighting game that's apparently good enough to be even played on competitive esports like EVO. Why is it a huge controversy? Well, it's because there's quite a lot of content that got censored. There are loads and loads of content that got censored on Skullgirls. I can link you guys a video covering some of the censored content. You can go ahead and check it out. They change or remove loads of artwork and visual details or other stuff for reasons that they actually explain in the blog post, and we'll get to that in a bit. Now, if you go to Skullgirls' Steam page directly, you will notice that the game receives overwhelmingly negative reviews because the censorship update is a stab in the back for the players who have supported the game. Loads of players opted to just get the game from the 7Cs. I found a copy of the second encore version of the game with bonus content and the old uncensored content remaining. So the 7Cs are still an option for a lot of you fans out there if you still want to play the game without the censorship. Now, I don't want to give a comprehensive breakdown of all the art assets that got censored. I will, however, provide feedback for their justification on censoring the art content and why they chose to censor them. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, these are some real classic censorship excuses, and it just reminds me so much of the times where I am at my old classic avatar. And speaking of throwback, I'm sure you'll miss this voice.
As we look ahead towards the future of Skullgirls, we have reflected upon past decisions regarding certain content that has undermined many things that make Skullgirls truly unique and special.
I really love this statement in particular, and I just absolutely love how insanely meta it is when compared to the reboot of this channel. How can something from the past times that made it unique and special be undermining the things that made it truly unique and special? Aren't they the ones that make them truly unique and special to begin with? This whole thing just makes no sense.
As such, as part of our most recent rounds of updates across all platforms, consoles, and mobile, we have decided to make some changes to certain legacy content in the spirit of better reflecting our values and our broad vision for Skullgirls moving forward.
First off, console and mobile, so I guess PC doesn't count in this matter, but only if you got the game from the 7Cs. Second, better reflecting our values and broad vision is basically just corporate speak of, we only care what we think, not what you guys think. I guess this is to be expected with the people who used to develop the game are no longer in the team, and the whole team got absorbed by some big corporate executives that have no idea what passion is. So what are the changes that are made in Skullgirls? Well, the first one is about how the game is alluding to real-world hate groups. Basically, some of the characters have accessories that might be associated to real-world hate groups, and the game censors them so that they are not associated with them. This is the same thing that happened in the newer World War II Call of Duty games, and it's a good indication of why they suck. I mean, I get that these hate groups in the real world exist even to this day, and those people cause quite a lot of trauma to the people who have been affected by them, but the same thing can be said to pretty much any tragic event that happened in the game or in any fiction in general. I'm sorry to say this, but if you feel genuinely affected by the presence of unpleasant things that remind you of something in the real world, then it's more of a you problem than the game problem. This is why most of the fans of the game feel alienated. They don't feel offended by any of these content, and since the developers are changing stuff to make content less offensive, it begs the question, who are they changing them for? It's certainly not the fans. So when game developers make moves that are not for the fans, don't be surprised when the fans don't like it. The next one is about character sexualization and agency. Apparently fictional characters have agencies now. This one is just bizarre in the most baffling ways. Skullgirls is no stranger to characters that confidently express their sexuality. It's no stranger, in fact, that it's like one of the top selling points of the game. The fact that the game has fan service content. Like, that's one of the reasons why people love the game. It's called Skullgirls, for God's sake. However, I guess old Skullgirls is way too raunchy, so let's just change them. But here's the problem. The raunchy content is still there. It's only like 1% less raunchy. Like, look at this screenshot over here. I can barely tell the difference, and it still doesn't change the fact that the characters are being tied up in freaking tentacles. It's a very not safe for work scenario either way. So who cares if the frame doesn't show a character's top? Those tentacles are gonna strip them anyways. If you scroll through the changes that the game made in the video that I linked down below, you might notice a recurring trend. The changes that they make are insignificant. It's to the point where it boggles my mind in why they made the change to begin with. One of the changes remove a comb from one of the characters. A comb. I didn't know this thing's gonna spark some serious controversies, but okay then, let's keep on reading. There are definitely instances where the characters are being fetishized and or have sexualization imposed upon them, but isn't the point of a fan service game is to, have freaking fan service? If you don't want to appeal to that weird subset of anime fans that love teenage anime girls, first off, don't make something that features an anime schoolgirl as a main character. And second, it's not a weird subset of anime fans that love teenage anime girls. It's like 99.9% of anime fans. So you better just give up on that prospect. Basically, what I'm saying is, if you don't want to appeal to perverts, don't make stuff for perverts. Schoolgirls trying to disassociate themselves with the perverts is about as convincing as Dead or Alive trying to disassociate themselves with the perverts. You might as well make something new at that point because your franchise has already been associated with fan service and perverts, and there's nothing much you can do to free yourself from that association. There are loads of other reasons like racial sensitivity and stereotypes. The developers are so confident that this will provide a more sound foundation for schoolgirls that it can all be proud of. Well, considering the insanely negative backlash that this got from all the players, no, it doesn't seem like you guys should be proud of these changes because the negative backlash is right there. But there are also backlashes to the backlash. A bunch of them always involve calling the fans who played the game non-fans. Apparently, them removing the weird content for the minors and the harmful imagery is not censorship. Wrong. It is censorship. Removing harmful imagery to not offend anyone is by definition censorship. And it doesn't matter if it's a minor who got censored or not. Oh, and saying weebs don't deserve rights. Funny of you to say that because without those same weebs buying this game wouldn't have been popular in the first place. You got these new fans of the game defending the game's changes and calling the fans of the original game predators to children, while they themselves were probably children when the game was released. How righteous of you to say that you are not a predator to children by the virtue that you are not attracted to fictional anime girls. At least the weebs don't have a track record of diddling actual real-life kids, unlike the moral guardians like you. So in conclusion, what the hell were these developers thinking when they made this update? It's not the significance of the update because a lot of these changes are so minuscule to the point where it boggles the mind in why they do the update to begin with. It's what it represents that people are irritated by. Making changes to the previous content of this game in order to not offend anyone represent a stab in the back for those who have supported this game for so long. They are not offended by the content of this game. In fact, they love the content of this game. So who are they making these changes for? It's certainly not them. But hey, if you think that these changes are steps to the right direction, that's perfectly fine. You can choose to buy this game and hey, maybe enjoy this game when it's on Evo again because it is on Evo again. Maybe that's why they make all these stupid changes. But for the rest of the people who played the game and enjoyed it for what it was, these changes baffled them, and most importantly, alienate them. If you can't understand why that is, and you can only see it as, oh, these people are just mad that they can't see Philly as underskirts anymore. Good for you for minimizing their concerns into a simple underskirt issue, but that still won't convince a lot of these people to buy the game or continue supporting this game. You're only alienating these people more and more, and convince them that it's better to just ditch the game and find a copy in the 7 Seas. Or heck, move on to Street Fighter 6. I mean, Capcom has been making some rather questionable design choices lately, but at least their game is better, and they respect the classic costumes. Failing that, Melty Blood is still an option. And that's all for the video today. Guys, thank you so much for joining in. Man, I love going back to my old roots. Oh my lord. And if you enjoyed as well, click the like button and subscribe for more. If you want to take it a step further, you can join among these awesome supporters who have gladly supported this channel for so long. Just $1 in any of these links and you'll see your names among them. Seriously, thank you so much, and I'll see you all next time.